Hello boys and girls. My name is Mrs. Milushim, and welcome to my school on the eastern island of Tikataka. Your music teacher, Mrs. Davis, and I have been chatting lately, and as it turns out, we have both been teaching our students about the history of music. So, we thought it would be fun to team up and teach a lesson together. Today, we will begin to learn about a music time in history called the Classical period. Sometimes, you may hear people refer to all pre-modern music as classical music. But actually, there is a specific time when we can call that style of music classical. This period lasted almost 70 years, beginning in 1750 and ending around 1825. Your project will be to choose any composer from the classical era. I am sure you have heard of Mr. Beethoven and Mr. Mozart. But who are some of the other very important composers from this era? You should research a variety of composers and choose one in which you are interested. Once you have found a composer, begin to find facts and interesting tidbits about the composer, and write those details down in your notes. Find at least a dozen facts about the composer you chose. Consider how he was raised, the schools he attended, the type of musical instruments he learned to play, his family home. Talk about his jobs as a young person, the style of music he enjoyed writing about, how he made his living, and at least 2 other interesting details. Once you have your list generated, ask Mrs. Davis to check it over for you. She will determine if you have adequate information on your list. And now, the fun part of this project. You will create your own movie, just like the one you are watching right now, except instead of me being the star of your show, it will be you and your composer. You see, somehow, you have been able to travel back in time, back to the classical era, and you have been fortunate enough to meet the composer you just researched. Your movie will be in the form of an interview with your composer. You already know all the answers he will say, so all you have to do now is make him say it. Once your video has been created, the final step will be to upload them to your own personal YouTube accounts, or email them directly to Mrs. Davis. I know. You are wondering how you can get started? Well, this is the fun part. Are you ready? You will need a piece of loose leaf and something to write with. Please write down these steps. I am going to give you a few more seconds to get your pen and paper. Here we go. The first step will be to get onto the internet, and in the URL space, type www.extranormal.com. You will now have to log on by creating your free account. You are ready to start making your movie. Begin by choosing a theme. You have several to choose from. Within your theme, choose the set. Now, choose your 2 actors. I have always thought it was fun to choose an actor that looks like me as much as possible, but you can do whatever you want. Mrs. Davis and I do think, however, that your composer should look kind of old. What do you think? Then, experiment with the sounds you might like to have in the background. Finally, write your interview in the text boxes. Have fun with this project. Once you start working with extranormal.com, you will see that you can make your actors move in different ways, like this, or this, or even this. There are lots of great possibilities using this program. Your teacher will help you discover some others if you are interested. Oh dear. I am so sorry. That was very unprofessional of me. Must have been that pizza I had for lunch this morning. I am so sorry. Oh my heavens. I guess it is time for me to go. I am so sorry. Goodbye boys and girls. Good luck with your projects. Do you not think it is way more fun to learn about classical composers in this way? Just think, when I was your age, my teacher made me do research from one of those dusty old textbooks. Then I had to handwrite my presentation, and then I was told I had to read my presentation to the class. Looking back, I am really not convinced that was the best way to learn the content. However, you young people have so many more creative ways to learn about the world. Oh my. I have to run. Goodbye everyone.